This is Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. And we're back with the follow-up to what was just an absolutely excellent Hot Wheels racing game. Something that legitimately just completely surprised me. Came out of almost nowhere a couple years back. And I loved that experience. It was so much fun. It was so well put together. It was great for the younger audience, while also being something great for, the mature audience, basically all ages, and it scales so well, whether you want something a little easier going or something a little bit more competitive. So what are we getting here? 4K resolution, 60 FPS. There is like AMD FSR as like a setting. I wouldn't really recommend this being used. It's a very old version of this upscaling technology. I mean, you can turn it on, but I don't really get the point in that. Difficulty options if you'd like to customize that aspect, and some writing aids if that's something that you need to make it a little bit more easier for you to enjoy what this has to offer. But this is a very visually impressive, beautiful Hot Wheels racing game. It just looks fantastic. There's HDR support, there's local split screen, 2 players locally, online multiplayer up to 12, and just a host of different ways to play and experience just what this Hot Wheels racing game has to offer. So basically, it is very similar to what we had last time around, but they have kind of expanded upon many concepts. They've added a lot of stuff. It doesn't feel necessarily quite as fresh as it did that first time around, but at the same time, if you loved that release, you will definitely like what they've done and what they've added here because, well, there is a host of improvements and changes. So let's talk about the overall scope. Wow, that was really aggressive. Wow, that's actually put me right out of the race. Let's talk about the overall scope and the design of this one. So you've got these massive open world environment areas, really huge. There's like a backyard, there's like an arcade. And what they've done is they've created all of these different tracks based on these areas. And you can go a little bit further because there's a track editor, and you can make your own tracks and share tracks with others. So that increases the amount of content basically tenfold, right? But outside of that, there is a campaign of sorts in this one, like an actual story mode with cinematics and everything. It's a bit strange, but if you just go along with it, essentially the Hot Wheels team is dealing with this overexcited scientist that has somehow created giant monsters, and the way to deal with these giant monsters is to shrink them and battle them as Hot Wheels cars. It's strange. It's very strange. But, it's just some little fun, a little bit of action. I think if you're someone that's a little bit younger, it's just kind of a fun little thing, and, they have a good laugh as the team kind of works together, a quirky scientist, a lady that's having laughs. They got, a robot that's with them, and it's kind of jokes about human-type stuff. It's just, a silly kind of, contextual backdrop to, what you're doing. And it also adds a little bit of flavor to the overall experience, because you go through this map, which I think will feel pretty familiar if you play it the first time through. And you kind of go through it, and let's jump to the next race here. So you select the different racing options, and there's a plethora of different modes, elimination, trying to be the fastest, all kinds of typical racing options, some focused a little bit more on, say, drifting, and some taking out your opponents, stuff like that. There's a lot of different ways to interact with this one in regards to differing types of modes, which is great. That's absolutely excellent. But what's really cool is these giant monster things come at the end of every chapter type area, and they act as a boss fight. So you are actually doing a boss fight where you go and you hit these kind of pins, and you are trying to eliminate this enemy. There's some interesting creatures. It's like I said, very funny that the concept is, hey, we've made these creatures really large, Now what we're gonna do is shrink them, shrink us, and we're gonna kind of battle them with our Hot Wheels cars, and it's a little ridiculous, but I mean, it's a Hot Wheels game with a larger-than-life sort of concept to it. But what I loved about the first one is I truly do believe that this feels... I am really pulling away with this race, holy. This really does feel like when you were playing with the cars when you were a kid, or maybe you're younger and you're playing this now and you still, you know, you actively play around with tracks and stuff and you have fun with the Hot Wheels. But for me, it was like that experience you felt with your imagination as someone young, you know, with the tracks and the Hot Wheels whipping around, you had the cars. It feels like that come to life. It really, really does. In a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type of environment where you've got this, you know, these large backdrops, these large environments, and you're just whipping along this bright, vibrant orange track. You know, like we had Hot Wheels in Fulsa was pretty cool, but to have a standalone Hot Wheels game that's actually this good and this awesome, it's fantastic. Like the track is colorful, it's vibrant. These areas that you visit are huge and exciting to see, and there are these like playground spaces that can be, you know, developed for other tracks that people want to create. It really does feel very endless in terms of scope, and to me that's really, really quite exciting. If it's something you like, you enjoy the gameplay loop. Not only do you get a good amount of time out of doing like the campaign, but your experience could be expanded upon and extended greatly based on what others have created. As I mentioned, there's that whole track system. Wow, that was really fast. Let's jump on to the next one. There's that whole track system that extends our experience even further, so you can keep playing and playing and playing. And I think that is just absolutely magical. But outside of that context, the levels they've created already are absolutely fantastic. Such a variety of different tracks and scenarios. And then the cars, too. So I don't know if you noticed, but the first race, we had the DeLorean, the Back to the Future DeLorean. Here we've got Kit, from Knight Rider. And you, like, you're, like, earning this stuff as you're playing in the game. So, you've got all this regular stuff, there's all this licensed stuff, but you're earning it within this, like, rotating selection of things. So as you race, you're getting coins, like, you're earning coins. And then they've got this rotating store where you're able to spend those coins. So I think it changes. I don't want to be stuck on a time, I don't recall exactly, but like I think it's like every 15 minutes or so, it gives you a brand new selection of cars at varying levels of coin costs, and you're able to grab cars. And there's like also a rotating spin the wheel to get extra cars or points, and it's all earned in game. Like you don't have to like buy it, if that makes sense, which I think is absolutely fantastic, right? Because I mean this is focused towards the younger audience, and obviously it's good that there's that safety zone in place. And wow, I am not winning this race unless there's a bit of a miracle. I'm just going right off the track. I go a little too fast sometimes. You gotta have that that need for speed, I suppose you would say. Oh, come on, I'm in the green. There we go. So yeah, I love that system, and there's like skill type stuff included that you're sort of earning, and it's just like it's a really good quick sense of progression that I think is perfect for that younger audience, and then for any other type of audience that's looking for competitive racing and everything like that. So I think they've handled the vehicle aspect really well, and there's like vehicle customization and different liveries you can deploy. And it doesn't take too much work to unlock a variety of different vehicles. We got like motorcycles, like motorbikes, and different types of speed racing type vehicles, and just a huge library of cars is present here from the history of Hot Wheels. Regular stuff and licensed stuff too, which I think is really, really quite awesome. And then we go back to talking about the game itself, like the visuals and everything like that. Just, it looks fantastic. The tracks are shiny and colorful and vibrant. They've done a lot of adjustments to the new pieces. Like you can have, I think you've already been seeing it, but different types of edges, different types of boosts, some areas which are like against you for boosting. Just so many different like pieces that you could play around with if you want to build stuff. Or you can just experience as you want to race. And of course, all the big fun Hot Wheels, ridiculous over-the-top, giant, like, monster-type things you might have had for tracks back in the day. And you're generating your boost as you're going around the track regularly, and then you can hit certain spots to give you more boost, or give you like a little bit of a quick thing, or like some of the nitrous boost, and you know, just many ways to kind of drive around in this one. It's really cool, and I mean the backdrop of this arcade is so awesome. Yeah, I truly am just really impressed and excited by this game. I don't know how to really tell you how much I have fun with these games. Like, it's just a blast. That first game, I was like, okay, we'll see how it is, we'll see what it has to offer, and I'm like, whoa, there's so much to this. And then I saw sequels coming, and I'm like, awesome. I can't wait to see what they do with it. And, you know, like I said, though, it is very similar to what we've played, but I think they've done enough adjustments, improvements, and additions that it should feel somewhat fresh for you. I think you'll have a good time playing this. It's so neat and interesting. I definitely struggle with they've got like jumps occasionally. I do struggle with some of the jumps because you have to have a little bit of boost to do, but you know, as I said, I really don't have many like or really complaints at all. You know, at worst, it's similar to what we played not too long ago, but like, it's a really good racing game. It's genuinely a lot of fun, and I think if you're like a bit of a Hot Wheels fan, you're gonna have a really great time playing it. Or if you've got like a kid that, you know, maybe likes racing games or likes Hot Wheels or cars, it's really accessible and enjoyable. Also, tracks, I like that there's these sort of like frost type things that pop up, and like there's a lot of neat effects on your cars, and they all look visually really good. I just want to really get that, like, you know, the level of clarity and stuff in this looks excellent. It's just got such a nice, sort of vibrant, colorful style and aesthetic, and it's realistic looking too, is a big thing. Like, it does look actually like a grounded, realistic Hot Wheels. That's what's so funny for me, is like looking at this game and being as though, yeah, this is literally those Hot Wheels in a real life situation. You know, with the cars actually looking like they do, but it's also cartoony and sort of unrealistic and fun. I don't know how to describe it. It's this sort of ultra realism almost, which is, as I've said, kind of hilarious and wild to me that this sort of thing exists as it does. I'm hoping that the series continues for quite a while. I think, you know, to me that would be absolutely excellent, because I'm just having a lot of fun playing this, and it's nice to play it, take a break, see what they've got new coming out, and seeing how they've adjusted the formula, because you just keep expanding upon this over time, and you know, you've got such an amazing foundation to build off of. You're able to just really go wild with this. I was also like just looking at the large, you know, backdrop maps, and I was like, oh, there's like 6 or so, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's gonna be enough, but then I'm like, yeah, no, these spaces are huge. I don't know if you've been looking at the backdrops while I've been racing, but there's all these like really cool looking areas. The next one we got coming up is really spectacular too, but these massive locations that will allow you to create, you know, just a ton of different tracks, and also allow you to play on a bunch. For quick play, you also do still have to unlock tracks, but they give you the option to buy them as well. I'm kind of more of a quick play kind of racer in most situations, but it's not really too hard to get enough points, like, to progress and unlock different tracks, and it's also not too hard to have enough points to buy said tracks if you would prefer to do that. This is what I'm saying, is like sometimes I really kind of struggle to get enough kind of jump to get over those bumps, which can be annoying, but it's usually my big hold off when I'm racing, competing against these other vehicles. Oh, just really though, great time, and I love the quality and the detail with all the different cars and stuff like that. It really is quite a special, magical experience. I do notice that at times though there seems to be some kind of scaling, sort of some of the stuff sharpness wise, this resolution wise, I kind of noticed, but I think most are just going to look at this and be like, it's colorful, vibrant, it's beautiful, it plays well, it's clean, it's awesome. It really is. It's just awesome. You know, it's hard to sit here and be like, oh, I don't like this or that, because it really just kind of hits the mark for me, like, perfectly. I'm like, this is exactly what a Hot Wheels game should be like. And this is the second one in a row where I'm like, this is awesome. Like, this is really, really cool. I love this. You know, if I was a kid, I would just be ecstatically blown away by the fact that something like this exists, let alone two of them. Where you get to see these Hot Wheels kind of come alive and have all the fun, like, big monstrous things and all the ridiculous stuff that comes with it. It's awesome. That's what I'm saying, like, I don't know how you couldn't really be impressed with this sort of experience. It's just pure fun and enjoyment. It's only like more than 130 vehicles and different varieties, not only like Hot Wheels originals, but there's like monster trucks and stuff from the entertainment kind of business, and you know, then these areas. And this one is so cool. It's a big dinosaur museum, which just really, really quite hits the mark. So I think they've really put something nice together, whether you're playing alone racing, whether you're doing local multiplayer, online multiplayer, you know, experiencing just a huge variety of tracks. So like a lot of them that are local, like there's a ton of local maps. You're checking out maps that others put together, maybe some of you have even compiled yourself. There's a lot to enjoy and a lot to love here. And I think they've really done it again for me. I absolutely just adore this title. It is so much fun to play this. I don't even know if I'm really getting the emphasis all the way across. I imagine I am, for sure, but it's just like I have like a lot of joy kind of playing this one. Like, it really does feel just right in all of the correct spaces, to the point where I'm like, there's a lot to do and a lot to enjoy here. I'm not sure where they go from here in regards to doing more stuff, but I think, you know, they've definitely hit it correct 2 times around. I also think there's just kind of enough value between both of the offerings that if you had both of these games, it would just be even more content for you to enjoy. You know, because I'm trying to think of it from the perspective of someone that's like, wow, I really like this, you know, I want to play more of it, and you got the 2 entries. Or if you're grabbing it for your, like, kids, it kind of would be a good idea for them to do, like, a combo pack, assuming licensing doesn't become an issue or something like that. Because I'm sure there's some people that would like even more, you know, kind of value out of it, and you can play both of them. Because they do little different things. I mean, obviously this is evolution upon the first one, and, you know, many, many great ways. But I do think you could go back and play that one too if you like this, and kind of feel at home as well. But yeah, this is just so good. It really genuinely is an absolute delight to kind of be playing it and then sharing it with you. Even more energy diving into it, even talking about it like review-wise. Like beforehand, I was playing through it, and I was like, okay, I like this, and then coming here to talk about it, I'm like, yeah, this is just a bundle of joy. And as I said though, like, seriously, you know, it's something for everyone, right? Like, you can, lots of accessibility options, lots of difficulty choices. If you need it to be more grueling, you can do that. If you need it to be easier because, you know, you're who the target audience is, you know, go nuts. But yeah, it's just really great. It's rewarding. I feel like you get stuff at a really good rate. Like, I was very satisfied with the very fast growing stable of cars I was collecting, and there's just a lot to earn here, and then a lot to upgrade further as you kind of improve your stuff. And then the story mode is, to me, kind of like a little bit of silly fun. I don't know, some may find it a little bit like, eh, but I mean, it's a kid's racing Hot Wheels game. The fact that there's even a bit of a story here, to me, is, you know, interesting. And it's a good way to get an introduction into the different game modes, like the different, you know, types of ways that you can play and interact with the game, is by, you know, going through the campaign and learning the different, you know, competition elements. And you can just do quick play if you want. And there's a lot of different modes, and you can check out your cars in the garage, and you can gather more cars at any point, and it's really easy to earn points, and, you know, but it is a sense of progression. It's not just like you're handed everything like candy, but it feels pretty good. It really does, yeah. It actually feels pretty good to kind of get everything going. And I like the themes that they went with, you know, and the backdrops. Like, I think the museum idea is really, really good. You know, kids like dinosaurs. I like dinosaurs. You know, a museum scenario is kind of cool. They nailed it with this. They really did. I'm quite happy to say that I'm more than pleased with what they did here. They put together a worthy follow-up that I think most people will more than enjoy. They'll absolutely love.